Here we have a SAT math question. Okay, let's go with the information. There is an equation given over here. In the equation above, x is not equal to 0 and y is not equal to 0, and we have to find the value of x over y. Okay, now let me write the given equation as it is. That is 1 over 64 to the power of x square positive 2 times x times y equals to, on the right side we have 4th root of 256 to the power of 2x square negative 8xy. Okay, now to solve for x and y, what I have to do is I have to get the same base on both sides of the equation. So once I get the same base on both sides of the equation, using one-to-one property, I can equate the exponents. When I equate the exponents, and I'll have a chance to solve for to find the value of x or y. Okay, here clearly 64 is a power of 4 and 256 is also a power of 4. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this 64 as a power of 4. That is 1 over 4 to the third power whole to the power of x square positive 2 times x times y. And here we have 4th root of 256, and so 256 can be written as 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. Here 4 times 4 is 16, and when we multiply 16 and 16, I'm getting 256 whole to the power of 2x square negative 8xy. Okay, now this 1 over 4 cube can be written as 4 to the negative third power. So because whenever we move a term from denominator to numerator or numerator to denominator, so the exponent will change its sign. So since I just move this one to numerator, so the exponent positive will become negative 3, and this 4 to the negative third power will be multiplied by this numerator 1. Still we are getting the same thing to the power of x square positive 2xy. And so here we have a radical sign, and the index of the radical is 4. Okay, since the index of the radical is 4, for every same 4 value multiplied inside the radical, we can take one value out. Here we have 4 4s multiplied inside the radical. Since the index of the radical is 4, we can take 1 4 out for these 4 4s. Then I'm getting 4 to the power of 2x square negative 8 times xy. Okay, here we have base 4 and we have exponent negative 3, and for this complete stuff we have the exponent x square positive 2xy. So whenever we have two exponents like this, what we can do is we can multiply the two exponents. So when I do so, I'm getting 4 to the power of negative 3 times x square positive 2 times x times y equals to 4 to the power of 2x square negative 8xy. Okay, now 4 to the power of, we can distribute this negative 3 to x square and positive 2xy. When I do so, I'm getting negative 3x square, negative times positive become negative, 3 times 2xy is 6xy equals to 4 to the power of 2x square negative 8xy. Okay, now two terms are equal with the same base 4. Okay, here we can use one-to-one property of exponential equation. So that is, whenever two terms are equal with the same base, what we can do is we can equate the exponents. So that's called one-to-one property of exponential equation. So we can, when we equate the exponents, I'm getting negative 3x square negative 6 xy equals to 2x square negative 8xy. Okay, now let me get everything on the left side. For that, I have to subtract 2x square from both sides to get rid of this 2x square. And also, I'm adding 8xy to both sides. Let me finish writing. Okay, here I have added, I have subtracted 2x square from both sides, and also I have added 8xy to both sides. So to make the right side 0. So this one will cancel, and here this one will cancel out. So when I combine negative 3x square, negative 2x square, I'm getting negative 5x square. And when I combine negative 6xy and positive 8xy, I'm getting positive 2xy equals to 0. Okay, now let's solve this equation. And when you look at the expression we have over here, I have a greatest common divisor x for these two terms. So x can be factored out. If I factor x out, then I'm getting negative 5x positive 2y inside the parenthesis. So now we can verify the factoring what we have done is correct or wrong. When I distribute this x to negative 5x, I'm getting negative 5x square. When I distribute this x to positive 2y, I'm getting positive xy. So the factoring what I've done is correct. So like the product of these two quantities equals to 0. Either the first quantity x equals to 0 or the second quantity negative 5x positive 2y equals to 0. We cannot accept this one because the question clearly says x is not equal to 0, so we can reject this one. Okay, now we have this equation. In this equation, we have to solve for x over y. Okay, now let me erase the stuff over here and continue the problem. Okay, now let me take this equation over here, that is negative 5x positive 2y equals to 0. Okay, let me subtract 2y from both sides. So positive 2y, negative 2y will cancel. I'm getting negative 5x equals to negative 2y. So whenever I want to find the value of x over y, one variable x has to be on the left side and y has to be on the right side, so that I'll be able to find the value of x over y. Okay, now to get the value of x over y, just look at the stuff over here on the left side. First, I have to get rid of this negative 5. And also in denominator, I must have y, so that I'll be able to get the value of y. So to get rid of this negative 5, I have to divide both sides by negative 5. And also since I need denominator y over here, I divide both sides by 5y. So that is, I divide both sides of this equation by negative 5y. So this negative 5 will cancel out, and here y and y will cancel out, and negative sign will cancel out. Now on the left side I'm getting x over y, on the right side I'm getting 2 over 5. So now I got the value of x over y, that is equals to 2 over 5. So we find this value 2 over 5 in option A. So the correct answer choice for this question is option A.